We're going live here at Goldman Penn, and this is a first episode of Lights Up, where we talk to actors. And hi, Joyce, how are you? How's it
I'm
going today?
great. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
So this podcast is about the actor's journey, and we're very excited about listening to what you have to say about like how you started and got into the business.
Oh, okay. Well, I have pretty much done this my whole life. Um, I have like both my grandmothers were actresses. Um, so pretty much all throughout school, I studied advanced theater and drama. Um, was in the fashion modeling program, and I started modeling professionally at 17 when I was in high school. It was actually my teacher. I think it was my history teacher. Her boyfriend had a clothing company. And
Mhm.
so it was my first time working at Magic, the apparel clothing company. And then I kind of started to model here and there. Actually, I entered a competition for the Las Vegas Review Journal, their
Mm-hmm.
image model search. And this was in, oh, I don't even want to date myself, but it was right after I got out of high school. And I made it out of thousands of finalists down to the top five, I think, or the top three. And we won a photo shoot at Star Studios. I don't even think they're around
And
anymore.
what city was this,
This
Joyce?
was in Las
In
Vegas
Las
for the
Vegas.
Las Vegas
Okay.
Review
Right
Journal.
here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Uh huh.
And we got a contract with Best Agency. And so that was kind of how I started. And then when I was 19, I went to fashion design school, and I was helping with the runway show.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't supposed to because I was a freshman, but I tried out for the runway show and they picked me. And then um, I kind of dropped out of fashion design school and became a full time model because I learned from all the other models. You just sign up with every agency. Nevada's a right to work state. And I was with like every agency. I mean, maybe 15, 20 different agencies, just working all the time, just a variety of different things. And here I am today.
Yeah. So how did you feel? How did you feel at that time? A young person getting into the industry, you got into modeling first before you got into acting. Tell me a little bit
it
about
was like
how that felt.
it was a little bit of both. So I was lucky because I was a model and I already had acting background. Um, I started out. I did both actually. I did background work with my mom and my brother on 21 and Race to Witch Mountain and Prison Break. And I was lucky that they chose me for feature roles instead of just background. So I got a little bump up, and then slowly I worked for years, and I became SAG eligible. But I didn't take as many acting roles because the modeling paid more. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, do I want to work for $100 a day background, or do I want to work for $100 an hour doing modeling?
Right.
So
That makes sense. That
I
makes
didn't work
sense.
a lot of acting stuff unless
Mm-hmm.
it was a feature role. I didn't work anything for about 10 years. I just recently paid my SAG dues. I was eligible for 10
Oh
years.
wow. Yeah.
Paid them in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I've kind of just come back from almost like a 10-year hiatus. I mean, I did work some commercial feature role stuff, but it was kind of like I put it on the back burner just because the pay wasn't there.
Right. So how do you find the scene now? Like as far as like being a working actor, do you get paid? Do you do favors for people? Do you
Oh,
their
well,
films? Like, it's always a complex, right,
it's
maze
hard.
of working in this industry. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, you kind of have to be doing a little bit of everything all the time. That's the way I was able to survive. I did, print, runway, commercial, film, television. I would do even celebrity appearances, showgirl work, sing happy birthday sometimes, anything that was
Mm-hmm.
respectable and through my agency. Um, and that was fun and furthered my career that I could hold my head high and say that I was proud to work with that company. But now I'm strictly working on film, television, print, just because I don't have the bandwidth. You really have to
Oh,
focus in
that's
on
true.
what your passions are and what direction you want to go down. Um, so when I paid my SAG dues in 2021, I took like maybe, oh gosh, 60 different classes with the SAG After Foundation, just learning about
Hmm.
the business, learning video editing, learning how to do resumes, headshots, because I was used to just working with no professional material. People just knew me by name. I didn't have to submit. I would just be book, just from picture submissions.
Right.
So getting a resume together, I didn't even know how to do the formatting. Honestly, I still really don't even know how to do the formatting. It's hard. But you have to be tech savvy. You have to be camera ready. You have to be personable. Uh, you have to be a brand ambassador also, because you don't know who you're working with and the companies. So you always have to try to be professional and still yourself, but at the end of the day you're doing a job as well as pursuing your passion
Well,
to get
sure.
paid.
Sure. And then, of course, there's always the aspect of social media, what you're supposed to do, quote
Right.
unquote, what you're not supposed to do. What's been your goals as far as social media? Have you been getting those numbers up, or the stuff that you post or don't post?
I have a love hate
Yeah,
relationship with social media.
sure.
I feel like social media is takes away from my real life. I try to be present in it. I really feel like as an actor, it's very hard to do social media because a lot of the time you're under NDA and you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
allowed to talk. You're not allowed to be
Wait,
filming
what is an
yourself.
NDA for the people that don't know?
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, why do we sign an NDA?
We sign them because we are trusted professionals who are not going to we're not going to spill the beans on their big project. Basically,
Right.
they're trusting us to keep their creative endeavors until they're ready to be presented in full authenticity. And I feel like people are so quick for that dopamine hit. They want that
Oh,
like, or, sometimes
of
people
course.
will, they push it. And even I was working on a professional TV set this past week. This is my third year in a row working for them, but I saw a girl that I'd worked with on set last year posting confidential contracts and then writing on my headshots, "Are you working on this?" And I had to delete her
Mm,
because I don't want to, it's nothing personal to her. I don't want to be associated with that because I haven't even stepped on set, and then I'll see some people taking photos and I have to say, "Hey guys, you're not allowed to do that." It's just like this
right.
unspoken etiquette that,
So all that happens before anything even happens, right?
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Typical.
why the people don't get called back. And then that's why
Right.
some people do get called back consistently years in a row.
Absolutely. Can you demystify some of this process for people that are just kind of starting out as an actor? You mentioned background work, and you've mentioned some other and
Sure.
modeling, and how this all right, because it gets very blurry,
It
right?
does.
It
There's
does.
so many different levels to it.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I think as an actor or performer, you are constantly learning and you're never fully developed. You're always becoming something else, honestly. Even if you think you're a wonderful actor, maybe you need to work on becoming a good dancer or a singer or a comedian, or something else you never imagined. Or I mean, it just so all right. Let me get back to the basics. So background work is somebody who's in the background. They're kind of like a nice moving object. They're not the center focus of the scene. They're there to keep the fluidity of it going, to make it look real, not just like two people sitting there in a dead zone. So they're kind of like a nice, beautiful palm tree. Sometimes you get some camera time. It's a good
Hmm.
starting point, and you never know who you're going to meet on set. You know, um, if you're professional, you can get bumped up. You can become a stand-in. You can become a feature, depending on if the crew likes you. So you never know.
Hmm.
And then a feature is somebody who gets more camera time, somebody who gets a little bit of FaceTime on the camera. But they don't have any speaking roles per se. They might just get a little bit of, that's a special person basically. Camera might highlight them. And then the supporting is the supporting character. I'm trying to think of a
Sure. So
acronym.
there's so many varying ways of committing to a project.
Right,
And we know that the cream rises to the top, right? So you can always have like a better role at
right.
something, or somebody can remember you,
Mm-hmm.
and cast you again. So that's a great thing. Let's talk about a little bit about auditions, though. How do you feel about auditions, especially today, with self tapes and everything that goes with it?
Um, I think it's great. You definitely have to be technical. I took actually self tape class as well. I've been studying with the Lee Strasberg Institute for the past 4 years, and that's a whole other art in itself. Knowing how to have the camera set up at eye level, your lighting, your sound. The sound is really important, and it makes or breaks your audition. Whereas before, you could just walk into a room, have them tape you, boom, you're out. You have chemistry with the reader or not. Now you're like, you really don't know. But it also opens up the market where they're doing a lot more remote casting in LA. They weren't
Yeah,
doing that before
a
COVID.
lot more
A
remote.
lot more. So it's a double-edged sword, but I love it, and I think most people do because there's not that traffic of LA driving. You can just do it at home in your self-tape studio and go about your day instead of having to sit in traffic and or drive there or all that messing around and stuff.
Right. So, what was the last project like? You did the 48-hour film festival?
Yes.
Okay. What was your experience like? And share with us how you got to work and collaborate.
Um, I love doing the 48-hour film project. I've actually worked on it. The first time I worked on it was in 2012, and my acting teacher at the time told me to get down there and to get some footage because they were doing this, and it was really cool because it's like you shoot a movie within 2 days, and usually movies take months or years sometimes. So this was actually the third time that I've worked on the 48-hour film festival. Um, every
What
time
was
I
the name of the film?
This one was lethal.
Okay. Who
Um,
was the director?
the director was
Do you want to mention?
Connor,
Okay.
and I just met him at
Mm-hmm.
the mixer. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. You just kind of get to meet
Yeah,
people.
we know Connor. Sure.
Yeah, so you just
Sure.
get to meet people in the independent film industry at the mixer, and you link up.
So it's worth it, right? It's worth it.
Hopefully you can throw something cool together,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think every time it's worth it because it's you trying your creative expression. As much as we say that we're actors, we want the booking, it's about actually practicing the craft.
Absolutely.
You
And
have to
training, right?
training
And
and
training. Yeah.
continuously training, because when you least expect it, that's when you have a booking.
Yeah.
And you have to keep your memory sharp. You got to keep everything sharp, your mind, your body, your soul, especially your your stamina and your emotional self, because it's a hard industry where everybody's judging you. You're there to be judged. You are the product, and you just want to give it your all. So you really have to have your brain and your body and everything functioning at top par, I think, at all times. I wish I was at the level where the actors have, you know, hundreds of pages memorized. I'm just trying to get through scenes, but you have to continuously be training. And for me, I'm like, I should not be watching TV unless I'm on it. So I need to either be working on being on TV, or, I'll only watch it when I'm on it.
I
But
think that's great. Making right? You're making movies
exactly.
instead of watching movies. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
because you don't have enough time to do both.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So where can we find you on social media, Joyce?
You can find me on my Instagram, my TikTok. I'm really not a big social media person. I kind
Okay.
of took a little blackout last
How can
month.
people check out your work?
You can find me on my Instagram. It's Joyce underscore E Jones, or my IMDb page, Joyce Elizabeth Jones. If you're interested in casting me for any upcoming projects, I'm available in Las Vegas and LA.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.